Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Here we go.
I'm Oxnard Police Chief Jason Benitez. We believe that it is important to share information with our community about an officer-involved shooting incident that occurred in Oxnard shortly after midnight on Friday, April 28th at an apartment building on the 200 block of East 7th Street. We have created this critical incident community briefing. Over the course of the next few minutes, we will provide you with a summary of what occurred during this incident, which resulted in a fatal officer-involved shooting between one Oxnard Police Department police officer and a 24-year-old male Oxnard resident. The purpose of this video is to explain to our community what happened, hopefully answer questions that we realize may exist, as well as help discourage the spread of misinformation. The link to this video was sent to the media in a news release. This news release will also be posted on the Oxnard Police Department's website as well as our social media platforms. It is important to note that this video is in no way intended to offer an opinion or an analysis of what transpired. Its scope is limited to presenting facts, that which has been established. It is focused only on the incident itself and not beyond that. Some ground rules for this video. First, we will not discuss any additional information about the deceased person, such as their background.
I hate when they do this shit. It is important for the public to understand who the criminal is. It provides context. It allows them to better understand what was going on and to be able to formulate a more educated thought. This not mentioning the criminal's background is a bullshit liberal agenda. I'm not a big fan of it. Las Vegas had been doing that for a while for some reason. They seem to have recently abolished that, and for good reasons. Other places across the U.S., some do it, some don't. Again, it's a bullcrap policy, and it is a detriment to the citizens. The citizens have a right to know who that person was and what their background was. Because the fact of the matter is, a lot of these criminals who get into these scenarios causing officers to have to shoot them, they're repeat offenders. A lot of them are. There's some who are not, but a lot of them are repeat offenders. They've been in and out of jail and prison and being arrested. Just a long list of incidents of them being a bad person and committing multiple crimes. And it's important for the public to know that, because there's a difference between a repeat offender who for the last 10, 15 years has been in and out of the system and then doing something causing an officer to have to shoot him, and a little bit of a difference between a person who's never been involved in anything at all. All right, moving on.
We will not make speculative statements. We will not present an analysis, nor offer an opinion. We also encourage those watching to try their best to not arrive at a conclusion about the incident, whether favorable or otherwise. This is important because not all facts, evidence, and information have been corroborated or verified. Additional information will be included in our department's final report, which will be available to the public following the conclusion of the investigation. During this incident, you will see a portion of the video recording from the involved officer's body-worn camera. This video is a clip of what the officer's device captured, depicting the moments preceding and including the shooting. We will also show you a video clip from a fixed position security camera that was situated above where the encounter occurred on the apartment building's second floor stair landing. In order to provide better context to our viewers, it is important that we first explain the function of the body-worn camera. Oxnard Police Department officers wear devices that record their interactions with the public during both enforcement and investigative contacts. The body-worn camera is equipped with what is commonly referred to as a wide-angle lens. The wide-angle lens is designed to capture more of the scene than a standard video lens. This can give a distorted perception of distance to the viewer. Objects on camera may appear further away than in real life or to the human eye. The body-worn camera is mounted in a fixed position on an officer's chest. It faces forward relative to their chest and does not swivel. This means that it is limited in that it may or may not depict what an officer actually sees. For example, the forward-facing camera will not capture what an officer sees when they turn their head to one direction without turning their body. Another thing that is important to consider is that when one views a body-worn camera video, what you see from your computer, your tablet, or your smartphone may or may not have actually been seen by the officer during the incident. The body-worn camera video does not capture what the officer perceived, sensed, or felt. In other words, body-worn cameras can capture a significant portion of what transpires, but it is important to keep in mind that they do not necessarily tell the entire story. Some things to note about the video that you will see. For greater accessibility for our viewers, we have added captions to the officer's body-worn camera video, which reflects what was spoken during the incident. You will also see video from the earlier mentioned apartment security camera. This security camera video does not have sound. When necessary, we have also redacted the faces of uninvolved persons as well as video that depicts significant injuries. Before we show the videos, I must warn our viewers that the body-worn camera videos that follow contain graphic content. Because of this, viewer discretion is advised.
In this video, you will see a diagram that illustrates the location of the involved persons. Please note this diagram is not to scale and is simply intended to provide the viewer with greater context and a basic overview of where the involved persons were. At approximately 12:15 a.m. on April 28, 2023, Oxnard police officers responded to 235 East 7th Street to assist the fire department and emergency medical services personnel with an uncooperative subject requiring medical attention. It was initially reported that the subject had been drinking and was hallucinating. Fire department personnel requested assistance because the subject was in possession of a knife and was actively cutting his wrists. The subject of the call has been identified as 24-year-old Oxnard resident Michael Owens.
911, what is your emergency?
I have a gentleman who's he kind of lost his senses. He's over next door to the mission right now.
Okay, so what is he doing?
He just took off running down there, and then someone just called me and said that he said to call an ambulance. I don't know why.
Oh, okay, so he needs a paramedic.
Yeah, he needs a
Okay,
paramedic.
1 second.
Oh, hi, yeah, I'm Michael Owens. I'm not doing too good right now, and I need 911 right here.
Do you need a paramedic or a police?
Oh, a paramedic. I'm just.
Where are you?
I'm not. Oh, my name is Michael Owens. I was staying right here at the Ventura County Rescue Mission.
But what address
and
are you
I was
at?
staying overnight. What?
You're there at the rescue mission?
Yeah, I'm staying at the rescue mission overnight.
Okay, let me get you over to the paramedics, okay? Stay on the line.
All right. All right, sounds good.
Hey, County.
Hey, can you guys come up with us for an uncooperative subject?
What's the address?
They're going to be in the alley at 234 East 6th Street. And we're on scene requesting you guys code 3. 25-year-old male, he's hallucinating.
Okay.
Due to the reported circumstances, officers responded code 3 to the location. A code 3 response is when officers drive with their vehicle's lights and sirens activated. Officer Emmanuel Garcia was the first officer to arrive at the scene. Officer Garcia is a 5-year veteran of the Oxnard Police Department and is currently assigned to our patrol division. He has not previously been involved in a shooting. Officer Garcia parked in the alley and approached from the north side of the apartment building. He contacted fire personnel and they told him Owens had barricaded himself in a room that was later determined to be a single communal bathroom. Officer Garcia proceeded to the apartment building's south stairway and took a position at the top of the staircase. This position was approximately 45 feet south of the communal bathroom Owens had gone into. Officer Garcia made efforts to communicate with Owens and gain his cooperation. Owens emerged from the bathroom, retreated back inside, and then re-emerged with a knife in his hand. Owens then began walking directly towards Officer Garcia. Officer Garcia gave commands to Owens, and Owens did not comply. As Owens continued to move towards him, Officer Garcia fired his handgun.
How's it going?
Barricaded himself in this room right here.
Okay.
Which, according to the other residents, is a single bathroom.
Okay.
Not lockable for him. He was up here, started getting aggressive and cutting himself with a knife on his left wrist.
Okay. Is he there by himself?
He's in there by himself.
Okay. Yeah. What's the reason you guys came out here? Hey, bud. Hey, bud.
All right.
Hey, listen to me, man.
Yeah, that's dead.
Can they help you out?
No.
Why'd you guys come in? Why'd you guys come in?
What?
Why'd you guys get called out there?
Hallucinating and drinking.
Okay.
And then once we got here, he started cutting his arm.
Got it. Okay. We'll see if we can make contact with him. Yeah. Sir, can you go back inside, please? Thank you. You can close the screen door, please. What's his name? Michael. Okay. What room number is that?
Not a room number.
No? Okay, is this the bathroom?
Bathroom, shower.
Okay. Doesn't have access to anyone else, right? Okay. Got it. Michael, can you come out, please? Hey, Michael, come over here, please sit down so we can help you out. Do me a favor, just sit down over here.
We have a visual of him on the upstairs balcony. He's wearing no shirt.
Just sit down over here, please. Michael, come on. Just sit down. Just don't bring anything with you. Don't bring anything with you. Stop. Don't reach for that knife. Do not reach for that knife. Do not reach for that knife! Give me the gun! You bitch!
Emergency medical services personnel who were still at the scene engaged in life-saving efforts after the shooting. An ambulance transported Owens to the Ventura County Medical Center for treatment. He remained in critical condition until the afternoon of Saturday, April 29th, when medical authorities declared him deceased at approximately 2:30 p.m. This call, unfortunately, highlights some of the dangerous situations that police, fire, and emergency medical services personnel respond to, and how circumstances can change rapidly.
We would also like to brief you about what comes next in terms of what steps and what investigations take place. When officers are involved in a critical incident such as this, it is common practice to place them on administrative leave for a period of time after the incident. This decision is based upon the nature of their involvement in the incident. Officers have to return to work after they have received follow-up evaluation, care, instruction, and are then cleared to return to work. Following the incident, Officer Garcia was placed on leave. At the time of this video, Officer Garcia is on administrative leave, and we are working towards establishing a return date. Any time that a peace officer shoots and kills or injures any person during the course and scope of their employment, the following actions are set into motion. First, the Oxnard Police Department's Major Crimes Investigation Unit conducts a thorough and professional investigation of the incident. Once completed, this investigation will be submitted to the Ventura County District Attorney's Office for legal review. District Attorney personnel also respond to the scene of any officer-involved shooting that results in injury or death. Their office assigns a senior deputy district attorney and a district attorney investigator to all officer-involved shootings involving injury or death. Following this incident, representatives from their office promptly responded to the scene. Second, our Professional Standards Division conducts a separate administrative investigation that will determine whether officers that were involved were within department policy. This internal affairs investigation also includes a review of tactics that were used during the incident. Internal Affairs also conducts a review of the shooting investigation itself and also reviews associated policies and procedures. This part of the investigation may also identify a need for a specific type of training. If there are any findings, they are documented and evaluated. Steps are enacted to address findings, and these actions are also documented. This internal investigation is especially important as we believe that it is critical that we always learn from events such as this. It is the role of the district attorney to investigate such actions of peace officers and determine whether involved officers acted lawfully. The Ventura County District Attorney's Office will conduct an independent legal review of our agency's submitted investigation for the exclusive purpose of determining if there is criminal liability on the part of any peace officer involved in the incident. If no charges are warranted, the District Attorney's Office will issue a public report containing its findings and the basis of those findings. This incident is still under investigation, and these typically require several months to complete. Anyone who has information about this incident is encouraged to contact Oxnard Police Detective Megan Toby. As I mentioned earlier, we do not intend to draw any conclusions about the officer's actions until all relevant facts are known and the investigation is completed. We also ask that our viewers try their...
Okay. Let's go back. Now, it's interesting that they say we won't have any opinions until the investigation's complete. I don't think I've ever seen any agency come back and do another video like, all right, here's our opinion on this. So as I noted earlier, they decided not to mention this guy's criminal background, which I think is bullcrap, because I'm confident that this person has been involved in stuff before. I did a little bit of a light search, and I did find an article from 2017 with the same name. There's no picture, showing this, but it is from the city of Ventura, and the age from 2017 was 18 years of age, so it kind of matches up with the age now. So I kind of think it's the same person. Could be wrong, but I do think it's the same person. And this person in this news release says that officers received a call in reference to a residential burglary. Officers arrived and during the investigation learned that while the victim was not home, an unknown suspect had broken the window and entered the residence sometime overnight. A large amount of alcohol was stolen. Officers obtained information that the residents in the neighborhood, the neighboring home may have been involved in the burglary and made contact with several subjects inside, including the suspect later identified as Michael Owens. Owens was found hiding inside a bedroom. During a search of the residence, officers located the stolen alcohol and found evidence to connect Owens to the crime. He was arrested without incident and booked into the Ventura County Jail for burglary. A second 36-year-old male was contacted inside the home and found to have had several outstanding warrants. So, found that, but wasn't able to find anything else. And I did not do an exhaustive search. The downside to when an officer-involved shooting occurs, there's a crap ton of different news entities that will report it. So when you try to run someone's name, the bulk of what you find is just stories about that incident occurring, and it's hard to go back any further and find things on people because you just get so many hits about this most recent shooting. So would not be surprised if he's had other incidents between 18 and now. So the Ventura County Rescue, I think they had mentioned it, where he was at or had been at. Let's see if I bring that back up. Ventura County Rescue Mission. So it's like a thing that helps some homeless people. Go into their website. Let's click on who we are, their mission. We'll see what they got to say. Since 1972, Ventura County Rescue Mission has been serving the poor and the homeless, offering hope to thousands of hurting people. The mission provides a full range of services to help the most vulnerable members of our community break free from poverty, homelessness, and addiction. So, they do some recovery and stuff like that. And they also work with homeless people. When it comes to homeless people, there is a lot of addiction issues, so those things kind of go hand in hand. I don't know anything about this particular entity, but because they do recovery work, they could be a treatment center, a recovery home, and because of that, they might receive people from the courts who are ordered to go to rehab. Again, I don't know if this is a rehab place or not, but that's a possibility. And given the fact that I think this is the dude who went and stole the alcohol, I would say that this guy's probably got some substance abuse problems and was most likely receiving some type of recovery treatment from this place. He could have also been homeless, but I think based off the fact that he's hallucinating, he's on something, it's most likely something to do with recovery with that place. When it comes to those rehab places, if they are the type of place where you can kind of check in, check out, and it's largely, just based around faith-based kind of coursework, there's a lot of relapse involved there. The best rehab for some people is it's actually jail. But the addiction crowd, they hate that. They say you shouldn't be arresting someone because of their addiction. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but honestly, when you confine a person to a place where they can't go anywhere on their own choosing, then they can't go out onto the streets and buy their drugs. Now, I'm not saying that jails are 100% devoid of any drugs. That's not true at all. You can find drugs in jail, but not to the degree that you can find them out in the street. Drugs do make their ways in the jails, but it's just not an endless supply of them. These rehab places, they have different hours of operation, so he may have been, supposed to be there during the day, and then at night, they don't have, some of them may not have third shift capability, so they're only open during the day. They don't do anything at night. There are some rehab places that are, a 24-hour facility. People kind of live there, but even then, the staff are not really allowed to do anything to the people. So if someone's in a rehab place and 10 o'clock at night they decide, you know what, I think I'm going to leave the grounds. I'm going to leave here and I'm going to go out. They can't do anything to stop them. They won't do anything to stop them. So those people just freely walk out. So these rehab places where people can freely walk out whenever they want, or they're just a waste of time. Now, again, like I said, I don't know anything about this place, but just thought it was important enough to mention those things, because a lot of people, they don't have substance abuse problems. They don't understand how these places work. The fire department is there, or was there, because of this guy hallucinating and everything, and then when they get there, he pulls his knife out and starts cutting himself. Their firefighters remain on the scene. They stay downstairs while this guy's upstairs. The guy was very quick moving, and he could have very easily ran down the stairs towards those firefighters, EMS people. Personally, I think that they should have retreated to their vehicles as soon as the deadly weapon came out, and either lock themselves in the vehicles and sit there until the police arrived, or pull out of the parking lot and go to a staging area and wait for police to arrive. Fire EMS, they are unable to protect themselves when they're unarmed, which is one reason why I believe they should be armed, to be able to defend themselves. I don't think it would have been an issue of patient abandonment had they done that. That could have been a concern of theirs. Hey, if we leave, this could be considered patient abandonment because, he's injured. We're supposed to be here to help him, but, can't leave. When the scene is unsafe, you need to take action to protect yourself. That's in all training. All training. Scene safety. The scene is now unsafe now that this guy has armed himself with a deadly physical weapon. So they should have just walked away and went back to their vehicles.
Officer Garcia proceeded to the apartment building's south stairway and took a position at the top of the staircase.
Hey, bud.
All right.
Hey, listen to me, man.
Yeah, that's dead.
Can they? Got it. Okay. Okay. Can you come out, please?
So it appears to me that this officer is alone, and it's obvious that he does not have a rifle. So two things wrong there. He's responding to this call knowing that a person is armed with a deadly physical weapon. This is now a high-risk scenario. Where's his backup? He needs to have his backup there. Secondly, because he knows he's dealing with someone that has a deadly physical weapon, he needs to have a long gun out. whether it be a shotgun or a rifle, he needs something better than a pistol. Because you could see after firing multiple times into this guy, the dude still got up and came after him. Handguns are not that great. Yes, they can incapacitate a person, but they do a poor job in comparison to a rifle. If you know you're going to a deadly force encounter, bring a long gun and bring your friends with long guns. They are more accurate and their terminal ballistics are way better. You get more points of contact on a rifle or shotgun to help further stabilize that and reduce movement, increasing your accuracy. And the kinetic energy, the terminal ballistics are just, they're night and day. They're more devastating. If this officer had a shotgun or a rifle, he could have ended this threat right then and there. The person likely would not have gotten back up to continue the attack and attempt to take the officer's weapon away from him. If he'd waited for the backup, he could have provided the lethal cover while the backup utilized a less lethal weapon of some sort. Could have been pepper spray, could have been taser, could have been beanbag, 40 millimeter launcher, something. They could have attempted that tactic. Now, when it comes to the less lethals, the 40 millimeter, the 12 gauge, would it have had an impact on this guy? I don't think so. Not at all. He seemed pretty motivated in what he was doing, and if he was motivated enough to overcome the excruciating pain of being shot with a gun, then he would have overcome the pain of being hit with beanbag or 40 millimeter launcher. So the only two viable less lethal options for this, I think, would have been pepper spray or taser, and even those can fail. So would have been nice if they could have attempted that, but can't attempt that when there's no one else there to back you up. You can't face a person who has a deadly physical weapon and pull out a less lethal weapon on them, because there is a failure rate with less lethal, and the situation exists, or the possibility exists, that if you deploy that less lethal on someone and it fails and they're close enough, they can continue to close that distance and get on top of you and harm you or kill you before you could get your gun out and put incapacitating rounds on target. Always have lethal cover when you're by yourself. And when someone else is there and less lethal comes out, there still has to be lethal cover as a backup in case the less lethal fails.
Hey, Michael, stop! Just don't bring anything with you. Don't bring anything with you. Stop! Don't reach for that knife. Do not reach for that knife. Do not reach for that knife. Give me the gun. You bitch. Right, don't bring anything with you. Don't bring anything with you. Stop. Don't reach for that knife. Do not reach for that knife. Do not reach for that knife. Give me the gun. You bitch. Give me the gun. Do not reach for that knife.
So the guy comes at him with a knife and gets shot. The officer fired multiple rounds. I'm not sure how many rounds he fired, and not sure if all rounds hit him. Had he used a rifle, this guy would not have gotten back up. I'm pretty confident of that. The officer did have a good two-handed grip. He was using a red dot sight. He appeared to put rounds into the upper area, but they just did not have the desired effect. This guy was still a physical threat. He got up and charged towards the officer and verbalized that he was wanting to take the officer's gun. So that is further proof that this guy is a deadly physical threat, is attempting to take this officer's gun. What's he going to do once he takes the officer's gun? A logical person would say he intends to kill the officer with it. Why else would he take the officer's gun? Does he want to take the officer's gun and start taking selfies with it? No, highly doubt that. He wants the officer's gun so he can kill the officer. They are on this second-story landing, and the railing is not that high. It's around waist level. So now this guy is getting up and he is lunging towards this officer, and when we go to the security camera footage, I think we'll see that they butt up against this railing right here. So now the possibility exists that just the physical struggle could cause the officer to go falling over the railing and hit the ground and die, or become seriously physically injured or permanently disabled for the rest of his life. Could have landed on his neck and broke it. So although after shooting this guy and he drops the knife, this guy is still a deadly physical threat. And the continued use of deadly physical force is justified.
Now reach for that knife! Give me the gun! You bitch!
You see the railing right here. They do appear to have a blur bar over some information right here, but I'll move the cursor so that the playback bar disappears. But you can see down there the railing, and it looks like they put a box over some information, probably what the title of this camera is, or the company name or something like that. For some reason they've blocked it out. I don't know why. So the officer's all up on this rail right here. It could have very easily been the case where if this guy had pushed us just a little bit harder, they both could have gone over the railing. And like I said, that could have been fatal. That could have been very seriously physically injuring, to the point of the officer being disabled for the rest of his life from a broken neck, broken spine. What stopped this deadly force encounter is, I think, a headshot. Bam. So you can see that flash right in front of his head. So when it comes to physically incapacitating deadly physical threats, the first place to try is the heart. what is referred to as center mass. Center mass, aside from the heart being there, you also have the lungs, and you have the spinal column behind those. So if you fire into that area, it is a higher chance that you could hit the heart, hit the pericardial sac of that heart, hit the aorta, hit the lungs, hit the descending arteries coming down to the rest of the body, or punch through all that and hit the spine. So there's about 6 goodies right in there that you could hit and cause incapacitation to that threat. Hitting the lungs is not going to be an immediate incapacitation, but it will end up incapacitating them. A hit to the heart, it can be incapacitating, obviously, but it may not always be 100% immediate right then and there. You gotta think, some people can be hit and continue to do things for a short amount of time. Think about deer. Deer who get hit with a rifle. Sometimes there's some deer that go sprinting off a little bit of distance before they collapse down. It's just it happens. The second place to go for is the brain, and typically, the head is targeted second or last in most cases because it is the smallest target to try and hit. Your chest is pretty wide. It makes for a pretty good target for shooting at. Even if you don't get dead center in the middle right there to hit that heart, you're most likely still going to be putting rounds in that chest area. And they hit. If you're aiming for the head, you have a higher increased chance of missing the target completely. When you're this super close, bad breath distance, you can have a higher likelihood of making your hits on the head, and you should be targeting the head, targeting the brain at that point when they're that close. Now, this officer, he's fighting this guy. This guy's trying to come for his gun. Officer appears to take the gun up to the head and then pow, releases a round. That proved to instantly stop this fight. And you see the guy just basically slam forward and hit the door in the wall area. And then now, backup arrives. A little too late to the party there, bud. Here's the deadly physical weapon. This is enough to kill. Like, this could definitely be pushed into someone's chest, hit the heart, and kill someone. Or go into the neck and hit carotid. Alright, not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.